dominant.
Not really.
Only slightly.
Only a little bit. Yeah. So the idea here is that, when we're doing things that are natural to us, I mean, we can choose to learn to write with our non-dominant hand, but how much time does that take? And is that really worth it for us to invest time in writing with our left hand or non-dominant hand? It takes time, and it took way more time to do the same task, and the quality is probably lacking quite a bit, right? And so when you're working with what you are naturally doing, you're using your dominant hand, you can do things quicker, the quality is better, a lot less strife. It's a lot easier to do. And so that's the general idea here, is that not just with our handwriting, but with everything we do, if we're tapping into these things that are natural to us, everything's going to flow more easily. It's going to go faster, the quality will be better, it won't be as hard for us to do. Anyone have any other thoughts or observations, or is that helpful? I think it's a really great illustration because it's a quick, easy thing. You can see the difference so clearly between.
Yeah, I think it's a great exercise. I'd almost want people, if you can, take a photo of it and we could share it, what you've done.
Yeah, so I'm a believer in that. I mean, I know that when I am doing things that are natural to me, I feel energized and I can work, longer, and I'm more productive in the things that I'm doing. When I'm doing things that are draining to me, I just get drained and don't want to do it. So that's just a way of thinking about, a way that we can use our strength. So Donald Clifton is kind of one of the founders of Gallup. He's the reason why it's called Clifton Strengths as a tool. This is a quote from him that's basically saying, what will happen when we think about what is right with people rather than fixating on what's wrong with them? So as leaders, especially in your own businesses, you can really use this as a philosophy and as a way that you lead people. So if you're aware of what they're good at doing and you focus their time and energy channeling whatever work they need to do through their strengths, you're going to see people who are exponentially more productive and happier in their work, more engaged, more effective, better customer service, all sorts of things. And so a lot of times we try to help people overcome their weaknesses, help people, we focus on things that they need to do differently. But if you focus on, man, you're really great at this, let's get you, on that on a daily basis, then you're going to see a lot of productivity from that.
Yeah, Caroline, I think that's the main takeaway right there is exactly that. We want everyone to really focus on what they're already good at versus trying to improve, on what they struggle in. So thank you for that.
Yeah. Okay. So, sorry, I'm kind of looking around things to see my slide. Let's see. So here's just some information about people who use their strengths on a daily basis. This is just some of the research that Gallup has done. So people tend to look forward to going to work. They have more positive interactions with their coworkers. They treat customers better. They tell their friends that they work for a great organization. They achieve more. They're more creative, more positive, more innovative. We say that people who learn to use their strengths on a daily basis are about 7 to 8% more productive. They're 3 times as likely to report having an excellent quality of life. So beyond just your work life, if you're just doing whatever to use your strengths every day, you're going to have higher quality of life. So whether you're using your strengths in hobbies or at work or with your family or wherever, whenever you tap into those things that are just natural to you, it's going to really improve your life overall on a personal level. And then you're 6 times more likely to be engaged in your job. And so employers, that's where a lot of my clients come in. they're interested in sort of improving engagement for all sorts of reasons, and using strengths is one of the greatest ways that you can improve engagement in your workplace. So they say that the key to success is to fully understand how to apply your greatest talents and strengths in your everyday life. So a little bit about what to expect if you haven't taken this Clifton Strengths Assessment yet. There's an assessment, and they recommend that you give yourself about 40 to 45 minutes to complete the assessment. You go online to Gallup, you'll get a code that we'll probably send you from the club, and you just create an account, you put the code in, it'll create a dashboard for you on Gallup's website that gives you access to all kinds of learning materials from Gallup. It'll give you your report as well. And so you'll be able to look through all of your results. And then there's also a digital book. I think some of you guys have physical copies of some of Gallup's books. But they've got a lot of things online on your dashboard when you create your account that you can kind of study up on yourself and learn more about strengths on your own as well. And then what I have been doing has been coaching. And so I do executive coaching individually, which has been great. And then we do workshops, and the workshops are kind of customizable depending on what the needs are. But what we'll do as a club is once we have everyone's results who wants to participate, we can put together kind of a team grid where we can look at all of our strengths together and talk about what our team's strengths are, talk about team dynamics, and then kind of use one of our meetings as like a mini workshop, like a strengths discovery workshop, where we can kind of get to know one another better, and figure out where everyone wants to get plugged in, and how we might.
And those workshops are a whole lot of fun.
Yeah.
I did that. I did that with JT. Actually, did that with the Providence Village Church, and I was a part of that. And that was a lot of fun because I was with a group of people, and we got to celebrate everybody's strengths and what they do best. So it was a very positive experience.
Yeah. I think the other thing that's beneficial too is just once you realize that other people see things through a different perspective or a different lens, or that they have different things that they're bringing to the table than you might expect, I think it really helps you know how to communicate and work well with other people. So, you know, as we sort of tune in and we find out that, you know, Jennifer's got like some high competition in there or whatever it might be, it can affect, you know, the way that we communicate with one another in a good way. And so I see it as something that's sort of fun to get to know each other on a personal level. And I think it'll also potentially really improve the work that we do as a group. And so anyway, so what we'll do, I think what Carrie and Sina have talked to me about is that I can come in and I'm happy to provide a workshop for us. And we'll kind of tailor it to fit kind of our club and the time that we have available. But that everyone would have access to their reports and their dashboard on Gallup and all of that. You're welcome to reach out to me at any time if you want to do.
So the club is covering the top 5 strengths. And then if you want to tell everybody, there's actually how many strengths?
So yeah, so there's different options from Gallup. I think the club's purchasing your top 5 strengths. So when you do the assessment, you'll get a report that'll tell you what's at the top for you. There's 34 of these different themes. So you can purchase, if you want to, on top of the top 5, if you want to purchase your full report, it'll show you kind of your full sequence of all 34. Both are good. I think a lot of what people experience on a daily basis is going to be coming through your top 5 report. I find that, so for me, just as an example, I have responsibility at number 1 on my report. And you might think that, you know, the things at the bottom of your 34 would be your weaknesses maybe. So I have adaptability at the bottom, which is embarrassing a little bit when you say it that way. But adaptability means that, you know, someone feels comfortable just stepping into a situation and winging it. And that is not who I am. I over prepare for things, and that's my comfort zone. And so adaptability is at the bottom of my list, but I would never even think about stepping into a situation and trying to wing it. And so it doesn't really get in my way very much because I just don't do that at all. But responsibility is my number one. It means that I do what I say what I'll do. I don't like to make excuses. Integrity is super important to me. So there's a whole set of good things that come with that strength, but it can also be kind of crippling too if for whatever reason, like right now, the world is a little bit of chaos. And so if it looks to me like I'm not going to be able to meet an obligation that I've said, something that I said I'll do, it really can be crippling to me. I feel kind of paralyzed by that. And so everyone's strengths, the things that are in your top 5, are going to be kind of the best and the worst of you. It's the things that are going to be, it's just the things that you do. These are just your natural behaviors. And so they can be productively applied, or they can kind of undermine your work. And so anyway, I just want to sort of share that because I think you can really get a lot from your top 5. You can learn a lot about yourself just from that piece. The full 34 is super interesting because then you can kind of just let go of those things that you're not. But even just with the top 5, you get a lot of great information. But anyway, and then I'm here as a resource for anyone in the club, just as a fellow Rotarian who wants to learn more about their strengths. I'm also available for hire, but just on like a personal level, if you're interested in sort of digging in and learning more about what's on your report, just contact me and I'm happy to chat with whoever in the club who wants to learn a little bit more. Do you have any questions or any other? I don't know if you guys want to chime in, Carrie or Sina, if there's anything else that.
Yeah, I mean, first I want to make sure the club knows that. Thank you, Caroline. Caroline is a licensed coach in this area. And so what she's giving to the club is amazing because she's not charging us anything for taking the time to do these assessments. And this is going to be an ongoing thing that she's going to do. And so we're just so buzzing over the fact that she's pioneering this great opportunity for our club, because I haven't heard a lot of other clubs doing things like this. And so this is not only going to be beneficial for you personally, but for the club as well. And so I would just thank you, Caroline, for offering your service into that. I personally used her and, was so upset when I just got the report, when I got the stats back, because I looked at everything from a negative lens and I was like, oh, this sucks, and I want to be strategic or, something fancy and, and executive or whatever. And I was so disappointed. But that coaching session, that time with Caroline, it makes a huge difference because just like she iterated earlier, sometimes those words don't mean what you think. You put your own spin on it, but she explains it. And I have been beaming ever since. It completely did a 180 in my life. She came to my job, very jazzed about it. They're still using her. They're still getting coaching sessions from Caroline. Yeah, and budgeted for it for next year to add more to it. So they are so excited about it. I am really, really grateful to Sina and the board for allowing us to have this opportunity where we can bring it to all our members. And so, yeah, I really ask that you look at it in a lens of something very positive. I know sometimes we feel vulnerable when we think, oh, people are going to see, I'm not this or whatever. There is no bad one, trust me. And Caroline will, make sure to explain it. Every strength or every title, every theme, there is nothing wrong with any of them. So they're all great. Is that good?
So yeah, and then I just so for transparency, where are we getting the money and how are we doing this? We had in our application fee budgeted for everybody to get a t-shirt. Well, we're not doing a lot of activities where we're going to be wearing t-shirts. Our t-shirts need to be revised. And so we are using the money that we would have spent on a t-shirt to do the Clifton Strengths. And then the board has voted to go ahead and those members that had came on during charter time that haven't had this done, to pay for them to get theirs done as well. So we've been very frugal with our funds this year because we didn't really know what this year was going to shape up to be like. So we have the money to be able to go ahead and make sure that everybody's got an opportunity to go through this that has not. So, and if we identify more people, the board will make sure and we have vote through that to get the people that have missed but came in early but aren't new. So we got this working out. There's my hand thing. Since all of y'all missed that in person.
Still doing the hands, even on a video, still doing the hands.
Got to stick with what you know.
Yeah.
So, does anybody have any questions?
No.
I have a quick question. I had to get to work. Can you all send this so I can go back and listen to it?
Oh yeah, so we're doing a recording on it, and it will be available on YouTube, and we'll have.
Okay.
So yeah, you can just go back through. So yeah, if you got to pop off, pop off.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I've been working the whole time, but I just had to call the patient.
Yeah, that's right.
So is Corey. He didn't log on, but he'll watch the video.
Yeah, it's totally fine. Yeah.
Awesome.
And we'll also post a lot of this information on Facebook. And like I said, if you want to post your fun little exercise, just, you can post that on Facebook as well, or, email it, and I'm happy to post it for you or text it to me. But Caroline, I can't thank you enough for doing this. And Sina, if it's okay with you, we're going to get started right away on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Everything's already budgeted. We'll go ahead and make that list. You'll probably get an email with directions, and we'll move forward on that to give us something to do during quarantining, or excuse me, staying at home.
Yeah, use that word lightly.
I know. That's why I corrected myself. I'm not quarantining. I have no reason to quarantine, but I do have a reason to stay at home. Okay. So, anybody have anything for the good of Rotary? If not, I'm going to go ahead and ring the. Oh, sorry. We need to do the 4-way test, and then I'll ring the bell.
Yeah.
Make sure you, as Carrie had pop that screen up, make sure you're connecting through our different platforms if you have not already done so while she's pulling up that slide.
Right.
Okay, and
Yeah.
there we go. All right. Jennifer, you want to do the 4-way test? Take us out.
4-way test of the things you say or do. Number 1. Is it
The truth?
Number 2. Is it fair
To all concerned.
Number 3.
Will it
Build goodwill, better friendships.
Number 4. Will it be
beneficial to all concerned?
And number 5. Have some fun.
Have some
Wash
fun.
your hands.
Yes, wash your hands.
All right. Have a great weekend, guys.
Bye. See you online again.
Bye.
Bye-bye.